Tammy, and on this channel, I like to share all my tips and tricks on how I lost 207 pounds without surgery and how you can be successful on your own weight loss journey. So if that's what you're looking for, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for more videos like this one to inspire you to get started. All right, welcome everyone. Happy 2021. Are we excited or are we nervous about 2021? I don't know. I have not decided how I feel about 2021 yet. I am still in recovery from 2020. I think we all are. So welcome as you come on in. Don't forget to say hello so that I can say hi back. I am definitely guzzling down a radical skedaddle bang this morning. I got no sleep between my daughter's engagement and wedding plans and my we're redoing my girls' room. I could not stop my brain last night from going crazy. I rolled over at one point and looked at my Fitbit and it said 3 a.m. and I was like, are you kidding me right now? So be proud of me that I'm actually here today. I already skipped 2 weeks because of the holiday and I wanted to let myself have time to sleep in. And so I decided I didn't want to leave you guys hanging any longer than I absolutely had to. So, I see some of you are saying hello. I'm going to see who is here. Renee Schaefer, welcome. And Miss Becky, hello. Welcome, you guys. This is awesome. Okay, so before I go into subject, I also wanted to mention, in case you did not notice or see, my little plug for Built Bars today. They have a new flavor. Yep. This is cookie dough. It's dark chocolate. It is the dark chocolate. I was really hoping they were coming out with a milk chocolate bar. Sadly, no, it's dark. But let me show you the inside because I'm going to eat this later anyway. I might as well open it and show you. On the tippy top of them, it has little tiny nubbins of cookie dough. So this bar apparently has all cookie dough on one side and none on the other side. But all of those little bumps on top are little cookie dough pieces, nubbins. That's what I call them, nubbins. Because they kind of remind me of the shape of like a gummy candy. I don't know, whatever. They're good. And they're limited time, of course, which is annoying. Can I just say that is one thing about this company that is annoying. All their limited time stuff. They're also offering some free protein marshmallows, chocolate covered protein marshmallows with every purchase today. I must have this. This must be mine. So I already bought some. And you can too use my code KETOCHAOS at BuiltBar.com. That's always good for 10% off. So even if you're seeing this later and you just wanted to try a different bar, 10% off. And guys, you can stack the codes. So if you have other codes like Built Bar codes or they're 15% off, you can stack my code on top of their codes. Now you know. Okay, so yeah, not sponsored by Built Bar, but I do receive monetary money from them if you buy some. And I am definitely not sponsored by Bang, but I must have some because I am tired. All right, let's see if anyone else has said hello, and if not, we will just go right into it. Oh, we've got Donna Hatch, welcome, and Boris K. Hey, good to see you. Kim Dudra from Georgia, Moira Harris. She says, what flavors of Built Bars do I recommend? I literally like every single bar they make. My favorite are the mint, fruit, anything with fruit, raspberry, cherry. I like orange, but a lot of people don't because it has an orange oil taste. But I haven't found one I didn't like yet. Really, I like them all. If you like dark chocolate, you will love them all. If you're not a dark chocolate fan, you might not like them as much. They taste like chewy caramel. It's the texture that usually throws people off. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about Built Bars. Hey, Carnivore Yogi is here. Sarah, good to see you. And Jennifer Angus, welcome. All right. Okay, guys, so everybody else on the planet, apparently, in the keto space has been talking about this book but me, because the day I was going to talk about it, the book didn't arrive until after my live chat was over. I don't know if you guys remember that. So today we're going to talk about Dr. Westman and Amy Berger's book, End Your Carb Confusion. They call it Keto Without the Crazy. I actually was able to read this book in an hour and a half. Now, granted, I did not read the personal testimonials about keto. I glossed over stuff that I really knew and understood, but it is not a hard book. Look at this book. It is not ridiculous. I get no payment for advertising, and I don't even have an affiliate link. Maybe I will make an Amazon affiliate link for this book just in case you guys want to buy it through my Amazon. But everyone's been talking about it, and lots of people are doing it, and so I wanted to read it to see what the hype was about. My main reason for wanting to read this book is to see what he said about adding carbs back in once you get to a certain place. I really wanted to know what his thoughts were on that. So today I'm going to talk to you about what he teaches in this book and whether or not I agree with it and whether or not I think it will work for weight loss. So if you are looking for ways to lose weight in 2021, I will give a plug for my Facebook group, which is not anything beneficial to me other than it's more work for me. But if you want to do what I've been doing, the protein prioritized keto with tracking, you can come over to Facebook, Keto Chaos, and the links are all in the description. They will be eventually. Not at the moment. Not right now, but they will. Hopefully later. So in this book, he first, of course, lays out why you should avoid carbohydrate. There's all these reasons, and I didn't disagree with any of the reasons. A lot of these reasons he's talking about, though, are about excess carbohydrate, like we're talking large amounts. So back in the day when I was almost 400 pounds, so if you're new here, I have lost over 200 pounds on keto, and now I'm in maintenance phase. I'm trying to figure out how to maintain my weight in a reasonable way that isn't miserable. And back when I was almost 400 pounds, I did overeat my sugar, right? All the things he's talking about in this book were issues I was dealing with. I didn't have a lot of physical problems. I didn't have like actual diagnosed diabetes or insulin resistance or anything like that. I was pretty lucky. I have to admit, I was pretty lucky for an almost 400-pound woman. I was fairly healthy. Other than my actual size getting in the way of my ability to do things, and I was starting to crop up with some like IBS type symptoms towards the end. Other than that, I didn't really have a lot of issues. I did have some high blood pressure problems though in the end because during my pregnancy with my ninth baby, I ended up having some issues with high blood pressure that did not go away after I had him. So when I began keto, I did have high blood pressure. So I did have some things in here that he's talking about. And so I totally get the overeating sugar thing. Like, I get where he's coming from, and I would have preached this myself just recently. I mean, like, I definitely don't disagree. When it comes to the diet itself, I agree with a lot of it. And I have to say, first of all, I was going to grab my other books. First of all, most of the things I teach actually have been taught by Dr. Westman in the past. I wonder if I can reach my books. Oh, man. Got too many cords here, and I'm afraid I'll knock you guys down. Oh, okay. Well, I can get one. I can't get both of them. The other one has disappeared. Okay, so this is my Bible for keto, okay? And as you can see, well, actually, Westman's not on this one. Westman's on the other one. But this is Finney and Volek. The other one is New Atkins for New You. And that is the one they co-wrote together. And honestly, if I have to choose between new Atkins for New You and this one, I would pick this one. Keto without the crazy is exactly what this is. It's easy. It makes sense. It's easy to follow. I think people could do it more, understand it more, and maybe wrap their brains around it a little bit better than the Atkins book. It's less science, less detail, way more just basics. How do I do this? This is a really good how do I do this book. So I definitely agree with him on that. So basically what he says is for phase 1, you get to have, let's see, I don't want to quote it wrong, so let me get back to the page. I should have marked them all maybe. I had it before I closed it. Metabolic syndrome. Yes. Processed foods. Okay, there we go. So, intro to carbohydrate control is where we are. He talks about the different phases, and I actually did the little test. So, there's a little test in here. I don't know if you can see all the little boxes. And okay, so I have a little bit of a bone to pick with the test. In my opinion, this little check the box thing is purposely constructed to get you into phase 1. The likelihood of you being a phase 2er while reading this book, or definitely a phase 3er, is low. So basically what you're supposed to do is read all of these things and mark off which one is you. And then phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 have like a little addition down here. And whichever one has the most check marks is the one that you're supposed to do. The thing is, in order to get to phase 3, according to Dr. Westman and Amy Berger, is to be at your ideal weight with no health issues and or be a competitive athlete at your ideal weight. Those are the only boxes that are listed in phase 3. The box for me, the box for me in the future, at your ideal weight after losing weight on a low-carb, ketogenic, or paleo-style program, is in phase 2. So basically, what he is saying is if you were obese at one point and you've lost weight on a ketogenic diet, you can never move into phase 3. The only way you can be in phase 3 is if you never had weight issues to begin with and or are an athlete. So I have to have a little bone to pick with that. But as we go through the phases a little bit, I will pick it a little bit more. Now, I am still considered BMI. He uses BMI. That's another bone to pick, because if you have heavy muscle mass, your BMI is going to be not in the range. I'm very thin. Most of what I have on my body is a little bit of fat connected to loose skin. I don't have a heck of a lot left that I could burn if I wanted to. And I feel like I am in a very healthy place for my physical body, but my BMI is 27. And he basically has this listed as overweight BMI 25 to 29 in phase 1. So basically this would depress someone if they didn't really understand. They would be like, oh yeah, phase 1 for me. I'm never eating any carbs, never eating carbs again. And I kind of was bummed out about that, because I feel like he kind of cut a lot of people out of ever eating carbs again. And I am eating carbs totally fine now. And I don't fit any of these things that he said. I don't have any of these disease issues. I never really did, to a degree. I mean, mostly they were just the overweight problems. So determining the phases, I don't appreciate. I just feel like they should say everyone should start with phase 1 and see how it goes. And then if phase 1 if you don't feel like you need to be that strict, you can move into phase 2 for as long as you want. And then when you feel like you're very comfortable with that, you can try phase 3. And they kind of do say that in the book to a degree. They do imply that that's the way you should look at it. But they also really discourage ever going to phase 3. Or they also talk about carb upping and only doing occasionally, which I feel like carb ups tend to create carb binges. And I don't feel like they are as emotionally or mentally healthy as doing a little bit of carbs in your diet all the time. But, that's me. Also, they are really big on keeping you in a ketogenic state, which I get. And I have been that way at the past. So anyway, what you can have on phase 1, let's talk about that. Unlimited things, okay? Unlimited red meat. Okay. Unlimited pork, unlimited poultry, unlimited fish and shellfish, except I think they have a limit on some, clams and mussels, I guess. I don't know why they don't include some other things in there, but like shrimp, because they have more carbs, and eggs. So those are unlimited. You can literally eat as much of them as you want. Okay. I'm going to disagree with that. Now, one thing I do love about it, the very first thing he tells you to do is to eat protein. And I'm a protein prioritized keto advocate. I always feel like protein is the number one thing. So if he's saying these are unlimited and you should focus on these, I highly agree. I highly agree that protein should be the basic basis of what you are eating at every meal. But unlimited to me feels it makes me uncomfortable, mostly because I have been in the past an overeater, and I can literally overeat a lot of things. And red meat with lots of fat in it has a lot of calories, and I can eat a lot of it. I can eat a lot of chicken wings, guys. You guys know, but maybe chicken wings, if they aren't air fried, don't count because technically the oil they're fried in would count towards your added oils. I don't know how that works. He doesn't really go into that either. So I'm guessing you need to air fry the chicken wings if you're going to eat them unlimitedly. So the idea is that proteins and fats are highly satiating and that you shouldn't be able to consume too much of them even if you feel like you want to eat an entire package of bacon. The likelihood of you eating the entire package all the time every day is slim. So I get it. I totally get why he would say that. But saying anything's unlimited makes me a little bit nervous because I'm not capable of limiting things that are unlimited. Free foods, they're not really free to me. Of everything else, I'm totally on board with. His 2 cups a day of leafy greens, 1 cup a day of non-starchy regular vegetables, 4 ounces of cheese, up to 2 tablespoons of added dairy fats, up to 2 tablespoons of salad dressing, up to 2 tablespoons per day of mayonnaise, half of an avocado, and 6 olives. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If I personally ate all of that right now, I would gain weight. I don't know how people eat all of that added fat and don't gain weight. That's a lot of calories. So personally, I'd pick one of those a day. I wouldn't do all of them. It isn't clear about whether or not all of them are okay. That makes me a little nervous. Also, only 2 servings a day of pickles? Dude, pickles are free food. Eat all the pickles. Pickles are amazing. Yeah, I don't agree with that one either. Okay, so 0 carb snacks, unlimited. Okay, the first one he lists, sugar-free gelatin. You know I'm on board with the sugar-free Jell-O. People are always asking me, why do you eat so much sugar-free Jell-O? Well, to me, it's a free food. It has 5 calories per container, and I can't eat more than 6 containers without getting gut-busting full. So that's what? 30 calories. And my gut is full. So if I'm feeling the need to overeat, Jell-O will save my bacon literally any day of the week. But the second one on the list is pork rinds. Dudes, I can eat an entire bag of pork rinds. And pork rinds are not a free food. They are all calories and there's no protein in them because the protein is basically incomplete. So unlimited pork rinds scares the living daylights out of me. I'm like, not for me. Nope. Pepperoni slices, a little better than pork rinds, but I just don't see how they should be limited. Salami, hard-boiled eggs, low-carb jerky. All of these things are relatively high in calories. I guess they are also highly satiating, and he's assuming you are not going to go crazy and binge on them. And if you do binge on them, you're not going to get maybe as many calories as you would eating, say, donuts or, potato chips, obviously. But if you're coming like at a point where you're like really close to goal weight or you're just trying to lose 10 to 15 pounds, that isn't going to work. If you're 300 something pounds, oh yeah, baby, eat all them pork rinds because you will be fine. But the closer you get to goal, the harder losing weight is, and you just can't do that. You just can't do that. Okay, so I am grateful that he didn't cut out zero carb beverages. I was going to die without my soda. I was really worried he was going to say no soda. But no, you can have as many 0 carb diet drinks as you would like. So that's great. Unlimited herbs and spices. Yeah, anyway, it goes into all different kinds of condiments. To me, it's just like overkill with that stuff. Like that just seems like it doesn't matter. Then he has substitution ideas, which is good. Dining out, little menu ideas, which is good because if you've never done it before, like getting an idea of what you might eat for, breakfast, dinner, snack, whatever. It's helpful. That's helpful. So I do appreciate that. Now, he talks a lot about not tracking and not weighing yourself. And you know that I am not going to agree with that. But there are people who tracking stresses them out, makes it worse, makes them hyper-focused, makes them eat more because they feel like they're restricting too much. And weighing themselves, determines their happiness or sadness during the day. If that is you, this is perfect because I feel like people really would eat plenty of protein if they know it's unlimited and they would focus on that. So I think that's really good. And then he is putting a limit on the fats, but the idea is so that you don't go overboard thinking, oh, it's keto, I get to eat a stick of butter every day, or like, he's trying to limit the calories that way by giving you limits on your added fats and trying to get you to get your fats from the food, which totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. But I'm just thinking of me coming into this at the very beginning. I would have I wouldn't have lost the weight as quickly because I would have gone no holds barred on eating everything in sight that was unlimited because that's where my brain focus was. I wasn't in a place where I could even think about calories. When I started keto, I focused on macros only, proteins, carbs, and fats, making sure I hit them and not worrying about the calories at all. That's how I went to it. So I didn't even realize when I started, because I knew so little about what I was doing, that I didn't even realize that I was hitting bargain basement calories using that. And that's why I lost weight so fast. But I'll tell you what, as an almost 400-pound woman, I needed emotionally, physically to lose weight fast. I lost 100 pounds in 8 months, and that was awesome. I needed that. I couldn't live the way I was living anymore. I needed something that worked and something that worked quickly. I feel like if I would have done phase 1, I think it would have worked, but I don't think it would have worked as quickly. That may be a better way to do it because losing weight quickly can cause a lot of stress and it's not super awesome for your body, but where your body is like in a place where you're almost going to die, like you have to weigh the pros and cons of that. So I may have eaten more calories and maybe risked less metabolic damage by considering some of these foods unlimited. Maybe I would have gotten tired of them and I wouldn't have overeat them. I don't know because I didn't do that. So there's no way for me to really know. But for me, phase 1 is just not, I wouldn't have loved that. No sweeteners, no fruit at all, no yogurt. Yogurt's been a staple of mine since the beginning. I wouldn't have loved phase 1, to be frank and honest. And you're tracking your carbs anyway, and he wants you to do total carbs. I've never done total carbs. I've always done net carbs. I've always done more carbs than maybe ketosis perfection warrants. And I lost weight just fine that way. But I also tracked all 3 macros. I was always big on tracking. He does mention to do measurements, body measurements, which I think is good because I really feel like that does give you a better feel for how you're really doing than the scale, because the scale's all over the place all the time for many reasons. He kind of mentions electrolyte supplementation. In my opinion, this was my bone to pick with the other book as well, A New Atkins for a New You. There wasn't enough education on why electrolytes are important and how to properly supplement them. I just don't get that. I don't understand why doctors who are studying keto, who know how hard it is to manage your electrolytes on these diets, maybe I'm the only one who has a hard time managing my electrolytes on this diet, but I can't imagine I'm the only one. The fact that they don't have an entire chapter dedicated to the why, to explain the science behind it, he gives a little anecdotal stuff, and I can't even find it in here to read what he said, but he doesn't, in my opinion, give enough information and stress that enough. And he glosses over keto flu and perpetuates the myth that keto flu is something that can be got through. How is he having all of these clients coming in and he's helping them lose weight this way, and he's not seeing them suffer through keto flu over and over and over again? Am I the only person on keto who suffered through keto flu at least once per month? I don't understand why. Yeah, I don't understand. But he does stress that you cannot do a low sodium diet on this, and that it does not matter what physical ailment you are suffering with, you need to supplement sodium. So that was, in my opinion, very helpful, because that's actually something I struggle with a lot. People don't understand that salt isn't bad for you, that you need it. And then a lot of people will get water retention, and he does talk about that. Get water retention because they're not eating well and they're eating too many carbs, and their body doctor puts them on a low sodium diet to fix it, so then they think that sodium's bad. And he's like, no, that's actually not true. It's just that your body is retaining a crap ton of it all the time because it's dealing with all this inflammation. Once you go on a ketogenic diet, your kidneys don't process the sodium the same way. They start to drop it, and then you don't have enough. And he does say liberally salt your food, and he does say drink a couple of cups of broth a day. Personally, I don't feel like that's enough, but I'm not going to argue with him because he's a doctor and I'm not. But from my personal experience, I needed way more salt than that. One thing I really did like about that, I will mention it because I might forget later, is that in phase 3, which is 150 carbs or less, he says that you still need sodium. That's one thing I've been really struggling with, because even though I've added carbs back in my diet, I'm still getting keto flu. What? I'm still feeling like I need sodium. And he explained that you still do. So that made me feel a little bit better. Like I wasn't some kind of crazy freak that always needs to like gallons of sodium down me. So, oh my gosh. I wish I would have taken my notes better last night. I was not capable of taking notes. So I feel like I'm all over the place. Okay, skipping to phase 2. So phase 2 is for me, right? Phase 2 for people that have lost their weight on keto, looking to have a little bit more variety in their foods, but apparently aren't capable of eating more carbohydrate than 50 grams per day, total carbs. We're not capable. That just drives me nuts. I'm like, no. So basically he adds in berries, yogurt, all the things I've been eating since day one and lost a ton of weight on. Sorry, I'm trying to find phase 2. I'm still in phase 1. Apparently phase 1 goes on for 40 years. Transitioning to phase 2, he does talk about adding them in slowly like I did, which is really good. I felt like that really benefited me rather than carb upping and then diving back down, doing this big, huge up and down. Adding them in a little bit at a time, like I did, was really beneficial. I feel like my body handled it a lot better. I never really felt very weird. I haven't noticed this getting to the tippy top. So I think last week I had 92 total net carbs. So I don't know what total. I think it's like 125 to 150, depending on the day, of total carbs. So I'm definitely doing the phase 3, not phase 2. I have found I'm starting to feel that weird, like, aching, fake hunger feeling after I eat some of them. So I'm trying to pay attention to what, like, I ate rice last night and that did that to me. I was up really late and I felt just really hungry, and I was just like thinking I should just eat a Built Bar. And then I thought, you know what, this isn't real hunger. It's not going to actually help. So anyway, phase 2, he adds back in. So he ups the fats, 3 tablespoons of oil, 2 tablespoons of mayo, 1 whole avocado, 12 olives, increases portion sizes to up to 4 cups of green leafies and 2 cups of regular veggies that are not. So he does add, sorry, didn't mean to swear, acorn and butternut, Hubbard and spaghetti squash to that. I was eating spaghetti squash the whole time, but those other ones have much higher carbs than spaghetti squash. Not total carbs though, net carbs, see. Berries, stone fruits, nuts and seeds, yogurt, cottage cheese, and low-carb grain products, but only total carb. You have to count the total carbs, so not any of those like zero-carb keto stuff. He doesn't go for that kind of thing. It's very whole foods, concentrated, not very many, like things like Built Bars wouldn't be allowed. Built Bars, things like that wouldn't be allowed on any of his phases. Newsflash. No sweeteners, guys. I mean, he does have this little tiny paragraph way tucked in the back that basically says, if you think you're going to die if you don't have sweet things, you can use sweeteners. But most people use sweeteners on this way of eating, don't suffer consequence from it. But I don't recommend it, basically. And I'm like, okay, well, I never survived keto without my sweeteners. Now, I did at the beginning for 8 months. While I lost 100 pounds, I only had stevia and aspartame in my sodas. I did not even drink sucralose sodas at that time. I believe this one is a sucralose one. That's the ones that taste really good are sucralose. Aspartame ones and stevia in my yogurt is all I did for 8 months to kill the sweet craving. Then I added back in some sucralose, sugar-free Jell-O. That's when I started adding in those things. I just think it's funny because sugar-free gelatin he recommends in here as a free food, but it has the sweeteners that he says not to have. So, what's up with that, Dr. Westman? I don't think he watches my channel, so probably he won't answer. I love this. Will I ever be at phase 3? I will tell you the answer. According to Dr. Westman, the answer is no. Because according to the chart, only if you are metabolically healthy to begin with and or an athlete will you ever be in phase 3. Okay, because I'm in phase 3 on my own and doing just fine, thanks. He basically says don't ever eat sugar again, which I agree with that. I did have a little bit on Christmas, but I don't intend to ever put processed sugar back in my diet like on a regular basis. But yeah. So anyway, phase 3 basically has no limit on anything with carbs. So basically, let's see. Unlimited salad greens. If you're at your goal weight, you can increase your high-fat items to 4 tablespoons of oil, cream, and butter, 3 tablespoons of mayo, 1 whole fruit of avocado, which they already had, adding citrus, melon, tropical fruits, basically all fruits. Adding potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, parsnips, other starchy vegetables, adding back in beans, legumes, pulses. I don't know what a pulse is. Maybe I should look into that. Grains, corn, wheat, rice, millet, amaranth, spelt, barley, etc. As long as you don't go over the 150 total carbs. So that's basically where I am right now. Other than Built Bars, which he does not suggest having any kind of like net carb bar. But even if you count my total carbs, I don't go over the 150. So I'm technically doing exactly what he recommends here, other than I'm adding in sweeteners and processed foods that maybe he doesn't think would be that great. But obviously it's working great for me. I am not gaining weight and I feel amazing most of the time. Like other than that weird hunger something or other that's happening now. I don't know if I'll be doing rice again. I'm going to start paying attention if I do rice to see if it's when I eat rice that bugs me. Anyway. So yeah, I feel like it's really good for people who've never done keto. I feel like this will put them on the right track pretty quickly without scaring them, without making them feel like keto is this magic thing, getting them to drop a lot of their unhealthy habits. But things like emotional eating, he literally gives a paragraph like this big. And for 90% of us who are almost 400 pounds, we're overeating and we're fat because we have stress and emotional eating issues that we need to address. He basically implies that if you eat like this, all of that will go away and it will no longer plague you. I am here to preach the word of no way. No, no, no. That is not how it works. You have to do mental gymnastics. I have many videos on the subject, so if you want, maybe I'll try and remember to link one in the About section about stress eating. The best one I can tell you was from a couple of months ago where I talked about how I cured stress eating. It has now been a full year, well, not a full year, I'll say since about 6 months. Let's say 6 months where I have felt like I was not dealing with stress eating issues. And I'm now been on maintenance calories, well, not maintenance calories, but maintenance plan for about 4 months. Still not dealing with any stress eating issues. I've had problems on and off, but for the most part, I've dealt with them. But did some of that come from keto? Absolutely. Absolutely. So he is right in that eating these foods kind of clears your head and gives you that, it cuts off the hunger signal. It's huge. It's like it turns off that horrible, biting, painful hunger, begging for carbs every hour. Okay. It turns off that in your brain and lets you have time to like actually use your brain to think clearly and to move to the next level of dealing with these issues. If you don't deal with that, the second you start eating more food, you're going to go out of control and binge eat. You got to deal with all of it. And he doesn't really address this is only for diet. Now, granted, if you're eating unlimited meats, you're probably not going to lose weight as quickly as I did. Maybe your metabolism isn't going to go down to bargain basement calories. You know, you're not going to be struggling that way. You're not going to feel as deprived because you're literally eating as much steak as you freaking want. So you're going to feel much less deprived than doing it the way I did it, where I really limited my food even more than what he's recommending here and really paid attention to the numbers. So anyway, I highly recommend this book. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I really feel like it has a place in the keto space and that it's going to help with people not eating enough protein for their lean mass maintenance. When you're in a ketogenic state, what people don't tell you is that your body has to burn protein and or fats for the glucose that it needs in order to run certain processes in the brain. Now, the brain can run on ketones, but there's an amount of glucose the body has to have. It's called gluconeogenesis, and people throw it around like if you eat too much protein, it's going to stimulate this. No. Ketosis stimulates gluconeogenesis. Your body will burn protein and or fat and convert it to glucose when you're in a ketogenic state. If you don't consume enough dietary protein, it will use your body to make that sugar. You will lose lean mass in a ketogenic state no matter how much you eat. It's just fact. I don't have the list for that, but if you go over to BioLane, he's a protein scientist and he'll tell you all about that. So I follow, and BioLane is not necessarily a keto supporter for that reason. And so I like to follow a lot of different people and get a lot of perspectives. And so does Dr. Westman. He admits in this book that keto isn't the save-all for everyone and that it's not the magic cure-all for every disease on the planet, that it will help with a lot of things and it's good for a lot of people. But a lot of people are able to live healthy lives. And he doesn't basically say that this is the only way. It's not his way or the highway, which I really appreciated. But yeah, so I think that it's going to help in the protein space because he does break that explanation down of why that's not true and why protein, though it does stimulate glucose numbers. He explained the insulin. You guys got to get this book just for that. He explained the insulin that is created by eating protein is not the same as the insulin created by eating carbohydrate and why you don't need to fear protein. So if the one thing you read in that book is that, and you buy this book for that reason alone, just to learn about that, gold, absolute gold, because I feel like that's the main thing that people argue about in the keto space is protein level. And that they vilify protein and our bodies need it. Our bodies need it. I have done the higher protein from the very beginning. I probably would have eaten more of it if I could have known about phase 1. And I think maybe I would have benefited from doing that. And maybe my weight loss would have been slower, but maybe it would have been better that way. I don't know. I am where I am now. I am apparently in phase 3 and I don't belong there. I don't belong here. Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. I appreciate that at least phase 3 exists and explains it so that people can find themselves there. They have a guide to what is appropriate for eating, and like it encourages eating healthy whole foods and healthy whole grains, and it discourages eating a lot of processed foods. Oh, but I have to say, one bone to pick. He implies in the book that people are never capable of like curing themselves from sugar addiction and or overeating problems. And that's why phase 2 is only appropriate for people like me who've lost a lot of weight and had issues with it in the past. And he describes like not being able to eat one piece of a sugar thing and not want to crave all of the rest. That has not been the case for me. The more I get brave and try things, I had some sugar on Christmas and it did nothing like that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a thing here or if it's a physical thing that my body has just like regulated itself after so long of eating so low carb, and now it's just able to deal, and I'm not having huge blood sugar up and downs because number one, I'm making sure to always eat my carbs with a lot of protein. I never eat carbs by themselves. They always have to be with a crap ton of protein. So if you see me eating oatmeal in the morning, I'm eating it with a 30 gram protein shake for a reason. I'm not eating carbs by themselves. He does recommend eating carbs later in the day, and I think that's so that you can stay in a ketogenic state a little longer before you kick yourself out every day or something. I don't really do that all the time. I do that sometimes, but not all the time. So yeah. The other thing he said, he described, you cannot, he's like, a serving of cheesy chips, so like Doritos, okay? A serving of cheesy chips is like 12 whole chips. Who can eat 12 whole chips and not want to eat the whole bag? Me. And I don't know why, but I don't fit his book. I don't fit. I actually put 12 chips on my plate when I eat them, and I usually am done like liking them or interested in them halfway through, and then I eat them only because I tracked them. I literally have no desire to go grab the whole bag of Doritos and chomp away. So I don't know what I have done to fix those things, but obviously I'm proof that you can fix it and you can heal yourself. It's a possible thing. So I want to give you guys hope that it is a possible thing, that someday you will be able to eat foods that scare the crap out of you because you were unable to regulate them in the past, and that someday you might be able to regulate them to the point where you can eat a small amount of them and not feel like you have to eat everything inside. So that's my testimony on End Your Carb Confusion. Go buy it. Support Dr. Westman because he's awesome. All right. This is probably going to be a long video because I've gone 42 minutes in already and I haven't even looked at you guys' comments. I'm starting to get hungry and I'm thinking about eating this Built Bar. But I don't have anything else to go with it, so I probably better wait. I'll just drink more of this because this will help. Okay. So let's go back up to the top. Now, I will remind you guys that if you have something very important to say, I do have a super chat option. If you want to donate a little bit to the channel, I will try and see you really quickly. Doesn't always show me very well, but I will try and find you if you send me a gifty. I'm always grateful. Okay, back to the top. It's question time. You can ask me whatever you want. Literally anything. If you've made it to this far in the video later, this is when all the juicy secrets come out and I tell things that I probably shouldn't, like a crazy drunk person, even though I've never been drunk because I don't drink. All right, here we go. Donna Hatch, welcome. Did I already mention you? I did, I think. Yep, I did. Okay, what's Tara? Tara Allen is here. She is doing phase 1 right now, Tara Allen. She's doing it. She has experience. Other people doing it are Jelly from Fat to Keto and Melanie from Princess Ninja and Keto. Those are the ones I've noticed doing it on YouTube. So if you're looking for people that are doing that right now and you can see what they're doing, you should go check out their channels. Mary T from Canada, Lucy Scully, good morning. Rosie Osales, welcome, beautiful. Christina Salmon, my awesome new Facebook moderator. Thank you so much for help yesterday. Appreciate it. Jessica, Nitro Wife, is here. Christine Keto On, who is also one of my previous clients, like Tara. Welcome. Good to see you. Tennessee Keto Mama, welcome. She says she also loves sugar-free Jello. I'll tell you what, saves my bacon. Literally, like it has literally, sugar-free Jello is the number one thing that has helped me to survive calorie restriction. I love it so much. Mary T, right? Okay. She says, my husband gained 15 pounds of belly fat from pork rinds. He eats a bag at a time. Exactly. Exactly. Some people just can eat the fats and just keep eating them, and I'm one of them. It is not a free food to me. But Sarah, we have Rosie Osalis, who says, I can only do a handful of pork rinds at a time and then I'm done. So obviously we're all different. So if it seems like you can't stop eating something, probably you shouldn't eat that thing. You should make the judgment on yourself, right? Tanya, Carly's mama is here from Sparks, Nevada. I love that she lives in Sparks. I think it's so cute. You guys don't know what Sparks is. You should go watch some vampire stuff. Okay. Yeah, Mary T says, I think it has to do with genetic makeup. I am genetically lean. I was thin until I was 30, never weighed more than 225 at my highest weight. Those who are genetically heavier might gain eating this way. So I have always been genetically heavier, and I do gain weight when I overeat my fatty type things. So yeah, for sure. I definitely did last year when I tried to do keto maintenance instead of adding carbs back in. Adding carbs back in, I'll tell you what, the one thing about adding carbs back in that has really helped me, especially because I'm tracking everything so meticulously, is it gives me another macro to play with to get my calories where I want them to be. I don't have to add copious amounts of fat, which trigger me to want to binge. Carbs, being able to add carbs in and balance the two out just gives me more freedom to get the calories where I want them without way overeating on fats. But I do overeat on protein now, like a lot, which is yummy. Okay, so Tanya said, Carly's mama says, I think the idea of not tracking is to encourage those that need to get off the processed snacks and sugars in the first couple of weeks. Once fat adapted, it helps to track to control the mental addiction. Yeah, and you know what? Like, I'm not going to argue with them on the not tracking thing. If it's working and you're losing weight, also if it's helping you to not be so hyper focused, especially, I know like Melanie's doing it to try and kind of heal her relationship with food. Melanie from Princess Ninja and Keto, because she has dieted for so long. It's like she doesn't even know how not to. She's even mentally tracking things when she's trying not to track. So sometimes this is a really good idea. If you've been on a diet bandwagon for 40 billion years, you may even gain some weight doing this, but it's going to help you heal your relationship with food and your metabolism by allowing yourself to eat those unlimited things. So I think it's good for that as well. Christine Keto On says, it's so hard getting close to goal and not seeing the scale barely move. I added in working out at least 5 days a week and still nothing so far on the scale. And it's been 2 weeks and ready to give up. I know, it's hard. The only thing you can do when that's the problem is go lower on your calories. And if you're already super low, it's time for a reverse diet. I know I've told you that before. Like, a reverse diet is long. So I'm not talking like a month off or 2 months off. I'm talking like pushing your calories up and then staying there for as long as you possibly can. Minimum of 6 months. Most people recommend a whole 9 months, a year, as long as you possibly can to keep your metabolism in a healthy place. And then when you do a cut, it's like fast. So like last year, even though I gained weight eating all of that fat, my metabolism was happy as a clam. I put on 20 pounds, but I think 10 pounds of that was water. 10 pounds of fat. I easily cut that in 13 weeks on a super bargain basement calorie keto cut, plus 7 more. And so the longer you can keep yourself on the higher calories, the more effective the cut will be. And it's really a hard mindset, especially when you really want to see those numbers, to let yourself just wait and be patient and like have time off for a very long time. So that's the only thing. You either have to just like be miserable or try and get those calories up for a longer time and then cut and see what happens. Let's see. Mary T says, I don't believe there are any unlimited foods, mostly because I only eat when I'm hungry. And if you've been around here for very long, you'll know that I'm not actually a proponent of that. And he is in this book. He does basically say when you start eating ketogenically, you can trust your body signals. I call BS on that too, at least at the beginning, because I wouldn't have eaten anything. I wasn't hungry at all forever. I had plenty of body fat. My body was thrilled. And if I hadn't forced myself to eat the 120 grams of protein a day, I wouldn't have. And I would have risked losing even more lean mass. I think he thinks that because you're really focusing on protein in this phase 1 and your protein is limited, that you'll eat enough of it, but I don't think you will in the beginning stages. I really feel like you need to force yourself to eat enough protein in the beginning. And I still don't trust my hunger cues. I'm not trusting them. I still don't. I've been having a lot more hunger this week, and I've been second guessing it, thinking, okay, is this just I'm eating too many carbs and now my body's begging me for them again? Because we all know I overate on that and got up to almost 400 pounds. We don't want to mess around. That's why tracking for me is ideal, because I know how many calories I ate, and I can tell myself, dude, you ate this many calories, you're hungry or not, you're done. You're done for the day. You can't have more. Sorry. Wait till tomorrow. Last night, I was awake with growling hunger pains at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I could not sleep. My brain would not turn off. If I'd eaten a Built Bar, I probably would have felt better, but I would have gone over my calories, and so I refused. I fought with my brain, and I went out, and I feel fine today, and no one's dying from not eating that 1 a.m. You know what I mean? Like, I still don't trust me. I think eventually I will. But at this point, just because I was an overeater in the past, I just don't feel like my body knows what the crap it's talking about. But other people, and Mary, of course, you admit that you've always been lean and you can trust yourself because your body didn't what do you want? What is the word? Sabotage you. Betray you. Betray you. Like mine. Mine has betrayed me. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Tara's doing kind of phase 1 as the basic guide, but she's tracking to see where she's at by eating those things to satiety and see where she's at and to make sure she doesn't go over 20 total carbs. And she's also not adding copious amounts of fat. She's just eating the fat in food and only 2 tablespoons heavy cream. Yes, that's great. Yeah. Oh, Kizzy DDD is here and says she doesn't know what I'm talking about. I hope you figured it out. Dr. Westman's book. It's all in there if you want to try it. I know it's confusing. She's had a hard time. She's been trying to figure this whole thing out, and it's just like, it's a lot. That's one thing about this book that is awesome, though. It's not a lot. It's short. It's to the point. It makes sense. It's easier to understand. And if you do this, especially if you are obese, you will lose weight for sure. So I really feel like it is beneficial. It is keto without the crazy. There's way less to think about doing it this way. So the book is very beneficial. It definitely has a place in the keto space. Okay. Holly Nichols said, I never had any issues with keto flu along my journey, but maybe that's because I've always been a salt addict. Okay, I will tell you a funny thing about me. I'm also a salt addict. And as a child, I wonder if I have an actual thing that other people don't have. Because as a child, I would crave salt so much that one of my favorite treats was to take ice cubes and put them in a cup, and I would pour salt all over the ice and then wait for it to melt little holes in the ice so that it was easy to crunch up, and I would eat salted ice all the time. So maybe my body has a higher need for sodium based on a genetic makeup kind of thing. That is possible. Because obviously I was eating plenty of white bread and sugar. Like, I also ate like cinnamon toast on the daily, and I would take pieces of white bread and pour sugar on top, and I would just eat that. Ugh, the thought just literally, it's disgusting. I would never let my kids eat that. I do let my kids eat a lot of things, and I do have kids that are overweight, and I am concerned about them, but I educate them every single day. You cannot eat that carb without a protein. What proteins do you like? focus on your proteins. We're having lessons every single day. And me, I just ate bread with sugar on top. It's a miracle I lived through my childhood. It's so gross. So gross. So yeah, anyway, you find out all these dirty secrets about me right you get to the end. Okay. Okay. Built bars are not the best ingredients, so I cut them into 6 to 8 servings and use a little sweet dessert like a candy, for sure. I mean, they have digestive resistant maltodextrin, which does spike some people's blood sugar. If you're worried about the insulin and the blood sugar causing you issues, they can be a problem. I've been able to use them just fine. When I first started eating these, my weight did go up and people were like, it's those bars, it's those bars. And you know what? Even if it was those bars, my body obviously got used to those bars and my weight went back down. I eat these every single day and they don't make me gain weight. They're 130 to 180 calories depending on the bar. And for me, they work great. But like I said, I never had type 2 diabetes. I've never really been diagnosed with insulin resistance. I may have believed I had it, but now I think I didn't. I was just an overeater. So there's some things that I've learned in the process that make me trust that Built Bar is okay for me. But if you don't feel like they're okay for you, just because I'm advocating them, please don't eat them. If they don't work for you, don't eat them. I love them. And I do make some money when you buy them. And so I'm going to tell people about them, especially because they taste like divine candy. And I like candy and I miss candy. And so anything that I can eat that's got candy and low calories, I will be on board for. Jess says I should just write my own book. Yeah, I'm not a writer. You guys notice that I still have the same pinned post from 2 years ago in my Facebook group, and I keep telling myself that I need to write a guide, like that I can charge for, like a course. I need to hire someone to do it for me because every time I sit down to do it, my brain just turns off. It is not my forte. In fact, my pinned post wasn't even written by me. It was written by a friend of mine who came to the group with me. Her name's Brandy. Sometimes she comes to these, but not very often. I don't see her very much anymore on the group. But she actually wrote it. I didn't write it. So that's part of the reason why it hasn't changed, because whenever I sit down to change it, I'm just like, my brain just goes, eh. Talking, I can talk your ear off for days at a time, obviously. But I can't write. It's not my forte. So I wish it was, because you know what? I could make a crap ton of money selling some stupid 28-day keto thing like these other people do and fleece you out of your 39 bucks. I don't want to do that either, but it would be legit information if I wrote it, not just crappy crap to steal your money. But I could make a lot more money and actually maybe make enough money from my surgery and not have to stress and not have to do so much work and worry about my videos doing well if I could write something. But yeah, obviously writing a book would be beneficial. But also, I'm just a mom. Who's going to read a book from me? When you can buy a book from Dr. Westman, MD, right? And his friend, Amy Berger, CNS, which I don't even know what CNS is. I think certified nutritionist. I think she's a nutritionist. I don't know. Maybe Dr. Westman's next book will be written with me. No. No. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Oh, hey, Melanie is here. Hello, and I'm so glad you are here to talk about this with us. All's well from India. Namaste. Welcome. Holly Nichols. Hello. She says her biggest issue is not getting in enough protein. I'm typically only hitting 70 to 85 grams. And if I need to get 0.8 grams per lean body mass, then I should be eating at least 96. Yes, you really need to focus on that. So the way you do it is that you track your proteins or eat your proteins first. So like in Dr. Westman's book, the very first thing is protein, right? These are the foods you begin with. Red meat, right? Literally, that's phase 1. Start eating your meat. I personally don't eat a lot of red meat. I tend to do chicken breast just because it gives me calorie wiggle room. I can get a lot of protein for not as many calories. But you need to focus on the protein being the center point of every single meal, and focus on getting your meals up to 30 grams minimum per. So like you've seen I've now, if you've been watching, you've seen I've moved from 2 meals to 3 and then 3 meals to 4. Ideally, I want to move to 5, but I'm having a really hard time letting go of my big dinner. In order to get to 5, I'd have to cut my dinner in half and eat another meal before bed, which I could do, but it's hard. It's hard for me to let go of that big dinner thing that I do. And so in the morning, like I'm adding the carbs, but I'm also having it with a protein shake. My next meal, I'm having eggs and either bacon or ham or sausage, some kind of meats. That doesn't help me hit my protein all the way, which is why I add the Built Bar to that meal. Then my third meal is the yogurt. I can totally hit my protein with that yogurt because it's got a lot. I eat 30 grams of protein in 300 grams of yogurt, I believe. It's pretty close to that. And same for my cottage cheese. 275 grams of cottage cheese will give me 30 grams of protein. So, and it does have a lot more carbs in it. But that's how I get my protein first. I also use protein powder and add it to my yogurt to make it even higher. What are some other ways? Focusing on lean protein sources and eating them first. So don't add in any fats, don't add in any veggies, don't add in anything else. The thing I love the most about phase 1 is that he says you only have to have, 3 total cups of veggies a day, and he said you don't even have to have that. People have given me such crap on this channel for eating a cup of veg a day. Oh, it's so bad. You need more veg. You need more veg. You know what? You don't. You don't actually need more veg. You can eat more veg if you want to fill up on veg, but frankly and honestly, it's not that important. The protein is where it's at. So focus on your protein first. Don't eat any fats or veg until you've done that. That's how you get it in. Get some protein powders if you need to. Get yogurt. Get some things that are easier to get down, like the protein shake. There's even whey protein that's clear. You can mix it into soups. Do not focus on collagen protein and pork rinds because those are incomplete proteins. So when people are having a collagen coffee in the morning, that's super great for hair, skin, and nails, but it's not going to do anything for your actual protein content because it's not a total protein. It's not complete. Okay, I see I have a super chat, so I'm going to check that out really fast, and then I'll come back up if I can. It's from Melanie, and she says, I'm driving, so I cannot respond. I love you, Melanie. I've been so enjoying your videos lately. She's just happier. On phase 1, ever since she found the Dr. Westman, she's back to her regular Melanie self. She's singing again. You know it's a good time in Melanie world when she's singing, right? Love you, Mel. Okay, so back to where I was. Where was I? Writing a book. I saw... Okay, I think I found it. Okay, so Jackie Perez says, almost missed it, so happy to catch you. Welcome, Jackie. Mary T says, people pushing too much protein as a keto mistake is my biggest keto pet peeve. Yes. Because it raised your blood glucose, and they're saying that's why, I'm telling you, buy the book just for that, please. Just go buy it, because that one section where he explains that, I didn't read it well enough to explain it myself, but it's something about how the insulin from protein is slower and isn't as damaging as the high spike from eating high carbohydrate food, processed food, right? So it's different, and that's why it doesn't matter. The one thing I love about Dr. Finney and Dr. Westman and Volek is that they've always been advocates for protein, and that is why I follow them. That's why when people come on here and they tell me to follow Dr. Fung and who else that drives me nuts? Oh, there's so many. I can't even name them all. The doctors that aren't really doctors that think that they are. Oh my gosh, I can't even. There's this one that whenever I watch him, I go, what the H? Every 3 seconds, I'm like, where did you get this crap? And people are always quoting that guy to me. Oh, what is his name? It's so not important to me that I can't even remember his name. Anyway. And then we have the influencers like Thomas DeLauer. Oh my gosh, try not to roll my eyes. No, stick to real doctors, guys. And if you're going to trust YouTube people, make sure you research it yourself. You don't have to, I'm not saying you have to believe everything I believe. This is what worked for me. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you. It doesn't mean it's going to work for 80% of people, I have no idea. No idea. It's just what happened for me. It worked for me. I am healthy. Emotionally, physically, food relationshiply. This is what worked for me. It doesn't mean that it will work for everyone. Okay, I see another super chat, so I'm going to scroll down and see this. Okay, Christine Keto, thank you so much. Okay, this is a good question. She says, my hair and nails have suddenly become thin. Have you had experience with this? I take Vitacost plain collagen powder and biotin vitamins every day. I eat 115 to 20 grams of protein. Okay, 115 to 120. Okay, he actually talked about that in here, and I wish I would have marked that page. So he explained that when you lose weight or in any way, that it causes you to lose hair. Oh, and he called it something that I'd never heard of before. Dang it, guys. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Sorry. I think it must be in the phase 1 section. But yes, first of all, I'd eat more protein. A lot more protein. Secondly, it's because you're in a caloric deficit. You just told me that you're in a caloric deficit. Anytime you're in a calorie deficit, your body is going to conserve, and you're going to have issues with hair and nails. The sole thing above collagen, above biotin, above anything else that is out there that has worked for me is vitamin D3. The fact that you're having thinning hair and nails during the winter could be a sign it's low vitamin D. How much are you supplementing? Are you supplementing enough? During the winter months, the fall and winter months, because I live in Utah, I supplement so much. 17,000 IUs of vitamin D3 plus K2, the K2 that's in a ritual vitamin. I don't know how much K2 it is. Probably maybe it's not enough K2 for proper absorption. I don't know. But that's how much I take on the daily. And I still struggle. And I'm not even in you look at my hair right here. I'm not even in a deficit anymore, and I still feel like my hair is relatively thin. For the most part, it has grown back. And honestly, I've never had nail issues, but I've always had super strong nails. I don't know that I would ever care or trade being bald for feeling this good. So to me, the hair loss has not been a huge issue, but the one thing that seems to have made a difference is the vitamin D3. I have also heard that silica is beneficial to the actual strength of the hair strand, not necessarily preventing it from falling out. So if you're having actual issues with your nails, possibly taking silica could help. I got this from a hair lady though, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if there's any science behind it, but I mean, it can't hurt to try. So that's been my experience. Someone said it was Dr. Berg. It's not Dr. Berg, but I also dislike him. It's someone else. It's not Barry. Dr. Barry and I have a weird relationship. Sometimes I like him, and other times I'm like, what? No. So, yeah. The problem with Dr. Finney is that whenever he gives a video on YouTube, it's like so freaking sciencey that you like want to fall asleep 3 minutes in. Like, it's like snooze fest. Same for his book. So much science. So much science. If you want to know the science, here it is. It's also on his blog, and it's a little bit easier to understand on his blog, vertahealth.com/blog. But honestly, even the blog posts are really sciencey. So if science stresses you out, stick with Dr. Westman. He's better on YouTube too than Dr. Finney. He can get dry a little bit because he is a doctor, but the way he explains things is a little easier to understand than Dr. Finney does it. But they say basically the same things. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Going back up. I went too far again. So I hope that helped, Christine. Let me know if it didn't. I will try and get back down there. Okay. Sorry, trying to find you. I don't want to miss anyone. You guys were having a combo. I went too far again. Okay, here it is. Here it is. We're here. Right. Princess Ninja and Keto says, I respect that Dr. Westman has practiced this in a live clinical practice and has helped thousands to lose weight. Yes, exactly. That's why you should listen to Dr. Westman and not me. But I'm also listening to Dr. Finney, and what I'm talking about also comes from Lane Norton, Bio Lane. So I am a little bit swayed at the moment by other people besides Dr. Westman. But yeah, I'm just a person. Like, I'm just a mom of 9 kids, and I lost a lot of weight. That's all. I have no like MD or anything behind my name. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Okay. Tara Allen says she's also using this method as an elimination diet of sorts, doing it ketovore so that, to fix digestive issues and trying to figure out what food's affecting her. Yes. Perfect. That's awesome. Mary T says, I can eat a little sugar too. It's your body regulating itself, metabolic flexibility. Yeah, I never had that before, but now I'm fine. Yeah. Melanie says I should write a book. Someday when I don't have a wedding to plan or pay for. That's why I'm not getting my surgery this year, you guys. Every cent I have is going into this wedding. My daughter was born in India, and her name literally means princess. Her name's Rani, and it's the Indian word for queen or princess. And this girl is wanting a princess production. And I'm gonna give it to her if I can, because that girl deserves everything. She's amazing. She is literally one of the coolest people on the planet, and I'm literally, it's a gift and honor to have been allowed to raise her, because she's just that cool, and she deserves an awesome wedding. So, but yeah, that doesn't mean I'm not doing the surgery. It just means that right now that's what I'm thinking about is my daughter's wedding. I want to do the surgery for you guys mostly because I really feel like it would be beneficial to see the whole process start to finish. And I feel like the skin thing is the end of the process to me. It's like this, so I've gotten to this place and now that's the next thing. But the next thing is really super scary. And I've never had surgery for any reason in my entire life. So frankly, scares the crud out of me. That's the honest truth. Okay. Carissa Grimm, welcome. She says she's never done keto and she doesn't know about it helping with that. But sugar-free Jello is a crutch for any overeater. I think she means like it's central to surviving. That is true. It literally just fills your stomach up so nicely. All right. Okay. Janice Pate says the part about not being able to control number of chips is an Amy Berger statement. She's talked about it not keeping peanut butter in her apartment because she can't control it. Yeah, if you have a trigger food, if you eat something and it triggers you to want more of it, you should never eat that until you're capable of eating a small amount. And I think that's been the nicest thing about trying carbs again, is to see that I'm not craving them at all. At all, guys. Not at all. It's so weird. It is so cool, but it's so weird. Okay. And Janice says, Dr. Westman gave me some personal advice that goes against what he says in videos. He's trying to speak to the general public. Exactly. And I know that if he talked to me, he would say the same thing. You're an outlier. I'm trying to help the most people I can. And for most people, they need to be in phase 1 or phase 2. And obviously, you're capable of phase 3 because you're proving you're capable of phase 3. I can just see him saying those things to me. But I was underwhelmed by, I feel like there should be a box for, you have lost your weight using a ketogenic way of eating or like using a diet basically, and you're able to control portion sizes of the carbohydrates that you choose to eat and doesn't cause major cravings. Check box. There should be a box. If there's only 2, how can it be higher than the other ones? It can't ever be higher than the other ones if you have any of the other ones hardly. Like, you literally have to be perfectly healthy and never have had a problem in order to ever qualify for phase 3 the way he wrote this up, or the way they wrote this up. So, but just so you guys know, he does have a channel. I think it's called Adapt Your Life or something like that. Adapt Your Life. And also, it's so funny. He actually has a Jason Fung quote on the back. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. That's awesome. And hers is Tuit, Tuit Nutrition, Amy Berger. Guys, give them some love and support if you are not already subscribed to them, because they deserve your help. And he always has really great things. They both have really great things to talk about. Christine says, my son is getting married in August and I want to be at goal weight by then. I've been playing with my macros, adding carb cycling for a few weeks, but started putting on weight. Yeah, well, I did too when I first started, but then I just kept doing it and it went away. It's got to be patient, child. Got to be patient. It's a journey. And you know what? You're so skinny, Christine. You are. I'm here to tell you, you look great for your son's wedding right now. Stop worrying about it. That's what I'm telling myself about my daughter's wedding, because I don't want to do a cut. Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to trigger you with the cinnamon toast, Christina. Yeah, I've actually played with doing that with Swerve. It works actually. Like if you're able to have the 0-carb bread, or if you're like me and you're adding some carbs in, you can, it's the butter that's the problem. So you need enough butter for the sugar to stick. But if you mix granular Swerve with cinnamon, it's actually really close. And it tastes pretty good. Maybe that's what I'll have for breakfast today. I don't know. Haven't thought about it yet. I haven't tracked it yet. Usually I track it at night, and you'd think since I was up till 3 a.m. thinking about my daughter's wedding and my daughter's room makeover, I would have taken the time to just track my food since I was awake anyway, but I didn't do it. So yeah, it's like what time here? 9:53. I'm supposed to like eat soon, and I haven't even planned it. But I am getting to the point now where I can almost eat. Like I have my meals now. So like at the beginning, it was really hard for me to figure out what to eat because I was changing my calories so much. Now I'm to the point where I know I can eat, like I can have for my first meal, my choices are cottage cheese and fruit and maybe a piece of toast, or oatmeal and a protein shake. You know, those are the things I tend to go back and forth with now. That's kind of, so I could go and eat something and not have to track it right away at this point. My second meal is almost always bacon, eggs, or ham and eggs, and a Built Bar. Then my third meal is always that protein sludge, because that's my new favorite thing. Just like the protein custard was for a while, and this one will probably go by the wayside eventually too, but I love it. And then my dinner. So a lot of times I start my tracking with my dinner, knowing what day of week it is and what my family's eating. I'll try and base it around that. And then I add in my other meals, and then I literally just tweak the fats and carbs up and down until I get the calories to line up. And that's why I do the whole day at once. And that's why it's hard for me to share what I'm eating, like how many calories per meal. But I will say that I've figured out the average calories per meal for my first 3 meals is 400, and then my dinner is the rest of them, usually. So people keep asking me that. And so I actually sat down and like figured that out. On average, 400 calories per meal, 30 grams of protein minimum is where I'm falling right now at 2,000 per day. 2,000. That's crazy, right? Okay. Carly's Mama Tanya says, recently I've started doing Tammy's reverse logic to move down my calories to get the loss going again. Yes, that is brilliant. That is exactly what you should do because she's been for 15 years, like she's 15 years in on her weight loss journey at this point, Tanya is. So she is playing with those calories to try and get it started again at the highest calorie level possible. And I can't decide if I do another cut, if I'm going to do that or not. It depends on how quick I need to lose the weight. If I all of a sudden panic in March and decide I need to lose, 7 pounds before my daughter's wedding, which I might, you never know. I'll probably do bargain basement cut for 8 weeks and then go back up. But if I decide I'm fine and then I don't need to do that and that I look great the way I am, also for the dance recital, which will be coming up, and now I'm in lyrical. And they showed us the costumes and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. That'll be in the next update, probably in my exercise clips. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. It's short sleeves. I hate short sleeves. We all know why. All right. Luma Zia says, I struggle with reaching protein and feel like I'm going to explode before I reach my full macro. Will I not lose weight if I don't eat my macros? You will lose weight, but you will also lose more body mass. You will lose muscle, which means you will burn fewer calories, which means it will be harder to lose weight. So you don't want to risk losing any muscle if you can help it. So hitting the protein is what prevents that. Well, it doesn't entirely prevent that, but it helps because it gives your body dietary protein to use to make glucose instead of body proteins. Okay. If you're full to bustin', what are you eating with your protein? There's no way you're eating only protein. Eat your protein first, always. Then you will hit it. Add things like protein powders, whey protein, egg white protein, drinks, protein drinks, bars if they don't bother you, that kind of thing. Okay. Okay, so Carly's mama says, don't overeat to hit macros. That's part of the magic of this lifestyle. Focusing on the protein is great, but once fat adapted, you may not feel hungry, and that's okay. I disagree with that, and which I already talked about earlier in this video, which you probably already know that I disagree with that. I don't believe that we know our bodies well enough for hunger to be a real thing. Yes, if you eat enough protein, you're supposed to not be hungry, which is why I question maybe if I need more, but I'm eating like 180 grams a day and I'm still hungry. So I'm guessing it's not that. I don't know. 180. If I can hit 180, you guys can hit 100. Come on. It is not that hard. It's not that hard. You can do it. Okay. So since I talked about that already, I'm not going to go way more into it. Okay. Natasha says, I'm trying so hard to start over, but I keep failing. I'm always hungry. I find 130 grams of protein is not much for you. Then eat more protein. You're 5'6". You could eat 150, 160, 170 grams of protein, no problem. Just if you feel like you need more, then have more. Err on the side of more protein than less protein, and err on the side of less fats and less carbs. So that's how I lost the weight. That's the way it worked for me. So if I'm trying, if I feel like I'm hungry, I also question my electrolytes. Maybe you just don't have quite enough sodium. I know that you know you're supposed to be supplementing it, but are you being honest with yourself about how much you're actually supplementing? A lot of times, hunger is a low electrolytes issue. Also, things like diet soda really help, especially if you're trying to wait for a certain amount of hours between meals. I really like to have 3 hours between meals to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, which is how your body repairs and builds muscle. And you don't want to waste that protein. So dividing it up into 30 or 40 grams and spacing it out 3 to 4 hours apart is most beneficial to your lean mass, which is why I do it that way. And it is sometimes hard to wait 3 hours. I do sometimes feel hungry sooner, especially now that I'm eating carbs. It seems like I can't wait as long, which, you know, is a thing. But I just drink more soda or take some sodium and I get through. Okay. Trying really hard not to go for more than 7 more minutes, so we'll see. Okay, Kizzy DDD says, once I saw the magic pill, I realized how damaging grains are. I know I would not be successful on keto if I ate grains. Giving up grains has freed my body for so much crap. Yes, it has for mine too, and I really think that's because wheat itself is bad for me. I'm either allergic to it or just genetically cannot eat it. I won't even go for the 0 carb keto breads or anything like that. I won't even mess with those because I know that those are part of the reason I have depression issues and stuff like that, because I have kids who have that. I have an 18-year-old son who gets extremely violent and sometimes suicidal if he eats wheat. So I won't go there. And I have been able to eat other grains and it hasn't caused me any inflammation or issues or digestive problems or anything. So it could just be a certain grain that's bothering you. So you just never know. Like Tara was saying, using this as an elimination diet, getting rid of all of the extra food that you don't know what's bugging you, get to the point where you feel good. And then over time, you can add things back in and see how they do. Like with the Built Bars. If I'd freaked out the second everybody was telling me your water weight gain is from the bars, don't eat them, and I just stopped eating them, instead of just waiting patiently and keep on keeping them in my diet, eventually my body either got used to them or it wasn't really that. Because eventually my weight went back down. Every single time has gone up during this reverse diet, has gone back down. Every single time. Because I'm just stick to my consistency. I just keep doing the same thing over and over and taking a chill pill. And it just goes back down. And I've basically maintained now for 18 and a half weeks. That's unheard of for me. It's never happened in my entire life. Not even on keto. Like I was either losing or gaining. Never just stayed the same for this much time. It's incredible. What do you do if you don't hit your calorie goal? You be happy. As long as you hit your protein, the calories can be lower. No big deal. Calories aren't a goal. They're more a limit. Protein is a goal. Fats are a limit. Carbs are a limit. So carbs under 20 net is how I do it. 20 total if you're doing this. Protein focused on. And then fats limited. That's how you lose weight. Well, at least that's how a lot of people do. And it works really good. I've never seen Mike Istrato, but I might check him out if I remember. Beth 12 Ann says, Happy New Year from Tampa, Florida. Thank you for sharing with us. I'm stuck at 162. I've been stuck for months. Hope to get to my goal this year of 150. If you're stuck, is it because of your calories being too low and you need to take a break? One thing is if you've been dieting for a really long time, your metabolism catches up to you. So the only option is to go lower on your calories and be more miserable, or to take a break and push your calories up to give your body a time to regenerate your metabolism so that you can do a quicker, faster, easier cut. Whereas if you have to lower them even more and you're only getting that little tiny bit of calorie deficit because your metabolism is really dieted down, it takes a much longer time and it's really freaking miserable. You will be hungry on a calorie deficit. Okay, I got another super chat, I think. Let's see. It's from Christine again. She just wanted to say, I thank you for all your videos. I look forward to them each week. They keep me going. Oh, Christine, you're the best. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. It's definitely not Dr. Barry. Yeah, it's not. Why can't I remember the name of that guy? He is big and he has a big jaw, and I think he's also a chiropractor or some kind of something. I don't know. He claims to be a doctor, but he's not a doctor. And then there's this other one that's bald. Oh, I don't know. Every time I watch them, I'm just like, that's my face. Oh! Tara sent me one. Wasn't it you, Tara, that sent me one of those guys? And I watched it and I was like, oh my lordy. No. No. So much no. Love it. Okay. I'm just starting at 325 down to 306 in 2 months. Woohoo! Good job, Milena. Welcome to the fam. Don't forget to join us on Facebook so you can have support over there and ask questions. Don't neglect your electrolytes. Always keep them up. 88 Snuggles. Angela says, you and Keto Diamond. Sorry, I don't know what happened right there. I hope you guys are all still here. Where was I? You and Keto Diamond are my go-to gurus. I love her too. She's the best. She's so like, yeah, well, I'm eating this today and tomorrow next meal, keto. She is the best at that. I'm so proud of her. She's done so great things. Okay, she takes 5,000. Oh, Christine takes 5,000 to 6,000 vitamin D3. Double it, triple it. Take a lot. K2 helps the absorption of the vitamin D3. That's all I know. It also takes place of calcium. Like you don't need, or it helps with calcium absorption, dude, I don't know very much about K2. I just know you're supposed to take it with D3. Do I recommend a specific brand? The cheapest one? No, I don't have a specific brand. I don't even remember the one. It's a brown bottle. I don't even know what mine is. Okay. This girl says, Kizzy DDD says, Healthy Principle is the best vitamin D3, or Health by Principle. So I have no idea. I haven't tried that one, I don't think. Okay, Tara Allen says, I'm glad things are working for you, but do you find you're having a lot more focus on a lot of meals a day? I like keto because I'm eating 1 to 2 times a day and I'm fine. I feel so much simple and easy. Yes and no. I'm more focused on it because I'm specifically doing this for a reason. I'm trying to get more muscle protein synthesis and less fasting. So I'm actually doing it with a goal in mind. So I don't feel like I'm hyper focused. It's just that when I sit down and do my whole day, I make sure to mentally track that this is a small meal, this is a small meal. And then I just go through the thing at the, like when I go to eat, I'm just like, oh, what was my meal today? Oh yeah. So I don't feel like I'm more focused on it, not more than when I was on keto. The nice thing about when I was on keto and doing intermittent fasting, though, was that I knew how much of each thing I could eat, and I only ate twice a day, and so I would just make those things, and I didn't have to track. Now I really have to track to make sure because it changes every single day. But that's the fun part. It's changing every single day. Okay. Kiss Keto by Kath, or yeah, Kiss Keto by Keto Kath says, lots of great information, ordered the book. Woohoo! Give Dr. Westman a thumbs up from me. It's awesome. Do you think adding bone broth or organ meats can help with his hair and nails? It can't hurt. It's great. I think it's fine, but it's the same as taking collagen from a jar, like from Perfect Keto. I don't think it's any more beneficial than doing that. But you know what? I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Karen Rothwell says, I came in late and scrolled back to watch at 2 times speed. She's trying to catch up. I hope she caught up. I look like a Shar-Pei puppy. I'm 53. I don't care about skin at this point. Go look at Kim's commitment. I did. I thought if my skin looked like Kim's, I don't think I would have done it. But she wasn't married, and so maybe that's why. My skin looks way worse than Kim's, but I am much older. Also, she lost a lot more fat than I did. She had way less fat in hers. And part of me is like, well, if they take the skin, they'll have to take the fat too, and then I won't have to worry about that. So that's part of the mental thing of wanting to do it, but that's a lazy thing. I don't know if I'll do it for that reason, but I have seen her videos, and they scared the crap out of me, frankly. So true. There's also another girl, though, that had a really great experience with their 360 with her doctor in California. And I can't remember the name of her right off, but that one made me want to do it really bad. So it just depends on who you watch. Like I was watching Janet Greta, and she showed her tummy tuck pictures, and I was like, dude, I want that so bad. And she had a great experience. So who knows what will happen if me? Probably, I don't know. All right. Cyrus, that is him. That's not the big guy. That's the bald guy. Yeah, don't watch that guy. No, just so much no. So much no. It makes my blood pressure go. I don't even know why I open his videos, because every single time I'm like, what? You are a nutcase. Yeah, that's him. Thank you. Kiss Keto by Keto Kath. Yeah. So does Dr. Westman actually get to the point in his new book, eat this amount of protein if you're this tall? No, Bruce, he does not. He just says it's unlimited. Eat as much as you want. So yeah, I feel like he does say that people need 0.8 per lean pound of body mass or whatever in here, but he doesn't like give a chart or make it helpful like I have in my Facebook group. So go figure. But my chart in my Facebook group says I, for 5'7", need to eat 120 grams of protein, and I'm eating like 170 to 190 a day. So yeah. All right. S says, I dislike when people praise Dr. Cyrus. I was an in-person patient of his years ago and left his office more than once in tears. He mentally messed me up. Comparing my weight to his, Oh my gosh, S. Now I hate him even more. Boycott Dr. Cywis. I'm so sorry. That's horrible. Oh, that makes me just want to stab my eyes out. I'm fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Hey, Jason, Viva J made it. I hope you're still here. Jennifer Costa's here. Sunshine Cleveland, hello. Debbie Gilliam, woohoo. Recommendation on protein powder. My favorite, most best tasting protein powder is Quest. Quest is just yum. It's good. I have this new one called Ascent, and the reason I bought it is because it has a lemon sorbet flavor, and I do like the flavor, but I hate how it mixes up. Quest is still my favorite. But there's lots of different ones. I hear good things about IsoPure, IsoPro. Basically just anything that has good macros. Sunshine Cleveland says, finally, someone says calories are a limit. Yes, you cannot eat 4,000 calories if you are my size and not expect to gain weight. You cannot lose weight eating that. I did 3,000 last fall and gained 10 pounds in 3 months. Don't do it. It's going to fail. All right. Oh, and Sunshine gave me a super chat and it didn't show me that one. I'm so sorry, hun. She says, here's to a great new year. Love ya. Thank you so much. Mwah. Sunshine Cleveland. Love you. Waterbirth Garden says, I love your chicken bucket workout. Thank you. Bruce Wayne says, thanks for saving some money on the book. Your chart has me at 147 grams of protein at 6'2". Dude, eat all the protein though. Like seriously. Basically what I'm going by now is what my ideal weight would be or what my current weight is if I'm at my weight where I want to stay. So I'm at 170 weight. So I'm trying to hit 170 protein. That's a bio lane thing. Also, most of the bodybuilders, that's how much they eat, at least that much. So as a male, if your ideal, body weight is like 190, then you should try and hit that. 175, you should try and hit that. 200, you should try and hit that. Focus on that protein first. Focus on lean proteins if you can, and keep the fats and carbs low. It's how you cut body fat. Because you're still going to be fat adapted and your body will burn body fat. And then it will burn your body fat instead of your dietary fat. That's the idea. If you keep that protein up so that you're satiated and you have plenty for your lean mass growth and, building with muscle protein synthesis and all that. If you keep your dietary fats lower, then your body will burn the body fat you've got. The less body fat you have, the less that works. And that's why it makes it harder and harder, and you get hungrier and hungrier the closer you are to goal. And so you can only do that bargain basement calories for a lower amount of time. When I was 374 pounds, I did that for 18 months nonstop with no problem, not even hitting a wall. Once I hit 199, my face smashed into the wall. My body screamed, stop! And I did. I listened. I went on higher calories for 3 or 4 months, all the way through the holidays, did a quick cut in January, then did higher calories all the way through spring, then did a cut in the summer. And I just tried to really listen to my body. When I got to that wall of no more low calories, I bumped them up. The only problem I ran into is when I tried to do the lower protein, higher fat keto that everybody keeps talking about. Last fall, I gained freaking weight. So it didn't work for me. Higher protein is always going to be my go-to from now on. So, do I add protein powder to my Greek yogurt? Yes, I do. And it's delicious. It can taste a little grainy, so you have to find the right balance. For me, it's 300 grams of 0% Greek yogurt with 20 grams of Quest or the Ascent protein powder mixed. So I mix the protein powder in the corner with a little bit of almond milk, some Mio water enhancer, whatever flavor I want, and a little salt. And I mix that up till it's like a slurry, and then I stir it into my yogurt, and it gives me even more protein for my delicious tasting desserty buck. All right, guys, we're an hour and 40 in, and now I'm getting calls about people needing to come to my house and pick up cars that my husband has fixed, so I gotta go. I love you guys, and I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad to promote Dr. Westman's book for him for free because, dude, it really is good. It really is good, especially if you're new at this and you're confused and you're stressed out. This really is keto without the crazy. It does lay it out very easy to understand. And I really believe if you follow phase one, you will lose weight. And if you stop losing weight, you just need to cut back on the fatty meats and up your lean meats and cut back on the added fats. I think it's reasonable to follow this pretty well without having to change much. And I think you would be pretty happy with a phase one diet. So I'm definitely recommending it. I picked some bones. Wow, I did not bone anyone. Oh my gosh. I hope Dave's not watching this. It's time to go. I love you guys so much. We'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.